Georgia State University Convocation Center, where they are preparing for the inauguration of Governor Brian Kemp to be sworn in for his second term today.
I'm Peter Biello. Welcome to our special coverage of the inauguration of Governor Brian Kemp. It's live on GP Radio, GPB TV, and our digital platforms.
So for the next 90 minutes, we will be bringing you all the pomp and circumstance from the Georgia State Convocation Center. Governor Kemp, First Lady Marty Kemp, is there with the daughters, along with all the VIPs. The state constitutional officers are all in attendance too.
Our lawmakers reporter, Rochelle Ritchie, is on location where the ceremonies will soon begin. Rochelle, good morning. What's the atmosphere like there right now?
Well, good morning, Peter and Donna. The atmosphere is absolutely exciting right now. As you can hear behind me, the band is now playing, letting us know that we are just one step closer to the official inauguration of Governor Brian Kemp. Now, we can expect that Kemp to speak for about 19 minutes. I can only assume from attending yesterday's Eggs and Issues breakfast that he's going to focus very heavily on jobs. That seems to have been the focus for his office since the beginning of this year. And just yesterday, they announced that Q-Cells will be investing $2.5 billion, bringing 2,500 jobs to the state of Georgia. So obviously, that is a lot of good news. We're also going to hear from Lieutenant Governor-elect Burt Jones, as well as newly confirmed Speaker of the House, John Burns. So as I said, very exciting. The seats are pretty much filled up here. People are starting to spill over into our area, actually, because so many people are actually here in the city of Atlanta to see the inauguration of Governor Brian Kemp for his second term.
Rochelle, this is Donna. Do you have any idea how many people are expected to attend? Is it filling up pretty much everywhere there?
Well, because I don't know the actual size of the area that we're in, I can tell you that at the lower levels, those are pretty much all filled up. So people are coming into sort of the third and fourth tier here at Georgia State University. So it will be a packed house for sure.
Mm-hmm. And Rochelle, you mentioned that there'll be a few other people, in addition to the governor, speaking today. Who else among Georgia's notable people, politicians or otherwise, are we expected to see today?
Well, as I mentioned, you're obviously going to hear from Speaker John Burns, and you're going to also hear from Lieutenant Governor-elect Burt Jones. Now, there are also going to be some other confirmations happening and swearing-ins as well of multiple people. But so far, those are the biggest names that I can think of right now that are actually going to be speaking.
I believe we just saw a shot of Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens.
Absolutely. So lots of people from throughout the state and certainly from the city of Atlanta. Very exciting. I know we're going to hear from you later on in the day during the ceremony. So thank you so much, Rochelle. You know, one of the interesting things is this is not just the beginning of the day for the Kemps. They had an inauguration ceremony. A prayer service today, a private prayer service at the Cathedral of St. Philip's in Buckhead. It's an Episcopal church. The Kemps are Episcopals, and they usually attend the Emmanuel Episcopal Church in Athens. And as we saw there, former Governor Nathan Deal, others are here for this, as we listen to the UGA British Brass Band. Kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you mentioned Governor Kemp had a busy morning. It's been kind of a busy week for Governor Kemp. Yeah. I mean, last night, of course, there was a dinner celebrating what was to come today. And of course, on Monday, the UGA Bulldogs had a big win, which for Governor Kemp was roots in Athens. Must have been huge.
Yeah. That they're all from the Athens area. He was born in Athens, so definitely probably grew up just with the red and black and everything Bulldogs. And so that was a huge win. And so today we're going to see the beginning of his second term, which he came in with a huge mandate with the election. And so feeling really good about that. This just feels different.
It certainly does.
From 2018 when he came in. I remember a lot of sentimentality in his speech then. So we'll have to see what he's going to talk about today. We're hearing, though, that there may be some good news in terms of pay raises for some state employees and for some teachers.
Speaking of a mandate, right, he spoke a lot about that on the campaign trail. He spoke about pay raises. He spoke about using the surplus, the state budget surplus, $6 billion, a portion of that for taxpayer rebates and property taxpayer rebates. So that's going to be a major legislative agenda this term.
And then when we're hearing, and we haven't seen the speech, but we're hearing that he may be giving pay raises to state employees, very much a big need there, and for teachers again. Now, during his first term, he did give $5,000 raises to teachers, and he may do that again. We don't know how much it is. I'll say that, but he may give them some money. And right now, teaching is tough. There are lots of issues, from dealing with kids who are coming out of the pandemic and have learning loss, to school safety issues, and the mental health issues within the school community are really hard.
Mm-hmm. There is so much that the legislature is going to have to hash out as well. Fortunately for Governor Kemp, the Republicans have both chambers. So it's possible that he could be working hand in glove with both Republicans in the House and Republicans in the Senate.
Yeah, so we can give you an idea of what to expect today. So after the band plays, then we will have the introduction of the governor-elect, we're calling him today, just for a few more minutes. And then the constitutional officers for the state of Georgia, they will all be coming in. And then we will have a little bit of a recognition of who they are. He will, after he's sworn in, he'll give his speech. We'll see all the justices of the Georgia Supreme Court will be in attendance on this. And then we will see each one of the constitutional officers sworn in.
Mm-hmm. And also, depending on the weather, we might also have a review of the troops outside, yes?
That's right, a review of the troops at the very end, and then a march. Well, I won't say that the governor's going to actually march, but walking, after he reviews the troops, walking down Capitol Avenue, back to the Capitol. And so that'll be interesting. I don't know if we're going to hear again from the British brass band, or we're going to start right here.
Seems like people are seated in a way that suggests something's about to happen, but
yeah, it's a brand new convocation center, I understand, and it's really beautiful. And the way they've decorated, there are a lot of decorations around the Capitol. Yeah, and so apparently, we can see they're coming in right now. They're still coming in and getting seated, I guess, for this big event. I do know the traffic was real bad. Oh, is anybody surprised by that in Atlanta?
Not at all.
It's probably tough for a lot of people to get in there. So we're going to hear more from the brass band. But a very exciting day for the Kemp family, and I think for the state of Georgia to see this happen.
Absolutely. This occasion is supposed to be not as heavy on policy discussions, although there will be some indication of where the state will be headed within the next few years. More focused on celebration and enjoying the moment, and celebrating, of course, a hallmark of democracy in our state, the peaceful transfer of power. Well, not really a transfer, right, because it's the governor's second term, but it's part of our democracy, and certainly worth observing and something to feel proud about.
Yeah, very, very much so. And activities already started. Last night, there was a state dinner at the Capitol, which was fun for those of us who watch or at the Capitol every day to see them come in and completely transform it with tables and just the whole preparation, and just to see it in a whole different light was just nice.
So, a question about that dinner: did they serve the Texas barbecue and Lone Star beer that Governor Kemp won in a bet with Governor Abbott of Texas since the Bulldogs won on Monday?
That's right. I don't know, but I actually want to know how, about that place that we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, Georgia Fresh Air. And I believe it's in Jackson. They make a mean Brunswick stew, apparently, also with some chopped pork.
I think we need to have a road trip to go to Jackson to see that. Rochelle, we're going to go back out to the Convocation Center. And Rochelle, I don't know if there's any update you can give us on what's taking place there right now. We know some people are running late.
Well, of course they are. As you mentioned, traffic was pretty heavy around the Convocation Center. Obviously, people are still coming into the center for the inauguration of Governor-elect Brian Kemp. As I mentioned earlier, we're expected to hear from Speaker John Burns as well as Lieutenant Governor-elect Burt Jones. We've seen a couple of high-profile faces in the crowd so far, including the City of Atlanta Mayor Andre Dickens and a few others. But it's not a huge update. At one point, we thought that we were about to start seeing that sort of procession of the governor and some of the Supreme Court justices, but obviously that is not started yet, but we anticipate that that's going to be starting here shortly.
Yeah, I think we will. We'll just have to wait a little bit, as we often do in the Atlanta area, Rochelle, because of traffic and things like that. We do know that Timothy Miller, the tenor with the Braves, who, if you're watching a Braves game, if you're there in person, it's really great. He sings in the 7th inning. He is going to be performing.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
I look forward. His voice is wonderful.
All right, so we missed the Braves game.
That's it.
Today's the day.
You'll get a chance to hear Timothy Miller. I've heard him in person, and he is wonderful. I'm not sure if the applause was just for the band, but they did a good job.
Certainly.
Does it look like they're getting ready to perform again? Yeah.
Some sheet music being sorted out there. Donna, let me ask you this, because Rochelle mentioned the Q-Cell plant, the solar panel plant, soon to be built here in Georgia. Governor Kemp has, for many years now, positioned himself as a pro-business governor. I wonder if you could put this Q-Cells in context for us.
Absolutely. So he very much talks about Georgia being the top state for business, and that has been something for, I think it's about 7 years or so, through one of the magazines. And so this is just another chance for Georgia to show how pro-business it is. Eggs and Issues, of course, as Rochelle mentioned, is the Georgia Chamber of Commerce's annual event that really kind of kicks off the Georgia legislative session and gives the business community an idea of what's going on in the state and what the plans are during the legislative session. And so that big announcement, which was embargoed, the press, we knew about it the day before, but it was embargoed until yesterday morning so that he could make that big announcement. And when we're talking about 500 jobs, I guess, in the area where Q-Cells is right now, and then another 2,000 in the Cartersville area.
Billions of dollars in investment, adding to just a wave, I guess it's fair to call it a wave, of green energy investment in the state over the past few years. There's the Rivian plant going up about 45 miles east of Atlanta. There's Hyundai electric vehicles happening outside of Savannah. So are we talking about a green energy transformation of the state's economy, perhaps, or at least in addition to it?
Yeah, and one of the things that Rochelle touched on, and she talked about this on Lawmakers last night too, is making sure there are people ready for those jobs, right? So the education system has to be shored up, not only K-12, but then at the technical level and at the college level overall in the state, and to make sure that there are people who are just ready to take on those jobs so that more industry can come into the state.
Which brings me to the question of Brian Kemp's particular expertise in making sure that people have a place to live when they come to work in Georgia. He had a construction business. He was an entrepreneur. He started his company, he says, with a pickup and a shovel, and focused a lot on housing. So what about workforce housing? Do you think that's going to be on his agenda this session?
Oh, absolutely. And we're already hearing that he may, in his speech today, talk a little bit about housing and making sure that people are able to get what they get housing, not only single family units, but also dealing with the rent issues that we know are a problem in the state in terms of high rents. So I think if he doesn't get into it today, there are lawmakers who have already started talking about that. And so during this legislative session that just started on Monday, I think we're going to hear some people talking about that, because people feel like they need relief when it comes to just having a roof over their heads.
Certainly, certainly. Well, if we don't hear about it today, perhaps we can expect to hear from him about it during his State of the State speech. Because again, today might be light on policy and heavy on celebration. So we're thinking about there.
Yeah, it looks like there are a lot of people there, very much ready to see this historic event take place. So we'll see how close we are to having things get started here. Like I said, it looks really beautiful, the way they have everything set up over there. And nice and close to the Capitol too, so that he will be able to walk back. I see the first family, I believe, starting to sit down, or maybe these are just others coming in. More from the British Brass Band.
Yes, if you're just joining us, we're listening to live coverage of the inauguration of Governor Brian Kemp. He's starting his second term today. You're listening to GPB Radio, as well as viewing us on GPB TV and our digital platforms.
And we will be here for the entire program, so you won't miss a thing.
Could I ask you a little bit about Governor Kemp's position on the economy? We're just speaking a little bit about housing. As far as I recall, Donna, maybe you remember this too, that he was really making the case on the campaign trail that while the national economy was suffering a little bit from inflation and the rising mortgage rates, Georgia's economy was quite strong.
We've done extremely well in this state, and that's why there is a $6.6 billion surplus, a lot of money. And the governor will say that one of the reasons is because Georgia opened up before a lot of states during the pandemic. Right. And that was able to get business churning, and we have been able to benefit from that. So we've had a few years of surplus, of extra money. And last year that proved well in terms of the governor being able to put money in a lot of areas. It was the first time I was able to cover the General Assembly and actually not talk about budget cuts. And for a while, they were able to talk about all the great things that they could put money into. And some of that went into that huge mental health bill to deliver mental health in the state better, and to make sure that mental health and physical health are treated the same way in the state. And of course, that was championed by the late House Speaker, David Ralston. And I know right now that there are a lot of people who want to continue to have more money put into the mental health system in the state. So we'll see that. We'll see more in terms of jobs. And as you talked about, pumping up the economy in terms of housing, those kinds of things are big. We're hearing that this session may be a little quieter than we've had in the past. This is not an election year, so we don't expect there to be a lot of, well, as we say, red meat issues that are taking place. The state's strength, in part, as you mentioned, Kemp attributes to opening up the state early. That was a big point of pride for him. Is the state's strength budget-wise not also to some extent attributable to COVID pandemic relief funds? That absolutely. Lots of money came into the state, and there's still money to be distributed. For instance, in the school districts, they still have money that they're trying to decide what to do with it, and we should see some of those things go into helping to shore up what's taking place in the schools when it comes to
the Georgia State University Convocation.
We're going to go ahead and go to the
Thank
ceremony.
you for joining our state as we celebrate the inauguration of Governor Brian P. Kemp and the constitutional officers of the state of Georgia.
What I love is, for those of you on the listening, that we can see people who are seeing themselves up on the screen and waving at themselves. But we're waiting to see the governor, his family, all the constitutional officers come out into this beautiful convocation center at Georgia State University. There are seats on the floor. There are seats of people sitting all around. There lots of red, white, and blue, of course, very patriotic. I think it's a chance to feel good about our state and this beginning for Governor Brian Kemp of his second term. He can only do 2 terms. So we'll see what happens next for him. But people are very anxious to see this happen. It's really packed. I think there are people standing around.
I'm looking for empty seats, and I'm not seeing too many.
Yeah, it's a beautiful stage. There is the state seal in the back. The chairs are awaiting the people to come out, and what I like is that there's glass at the top, and you can actually see the state. I think that may be a shot of part of this Capitol, but I'm not sure what angle we're seeing right there.
Lots of natural light, and of course the state seal with the words wisdom, justice, and moderation.
That is Rob Pitts, who is on the Fulton County commissioner. He's a Fulton County commissioner. So
Looks like we might be hearing from someone shortly.
that yes, that the first person who's really going to speak will be from the Reverend Abram Mosley. He's with
Ladies
Mount
and gentlemen,
Pleasant
please welcome to the
Baptist
stage Georgia State University President Brian Blake. Please also welcome from Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, Reverend Abraham Mosley. Ladies and gentlemen, as they stand at their seats, please give a warm welcome to our distinguished guests.
I know that I'm seeing them on the tape. That's all I need.
Members of the Counselors Corps. Members of the Public Service Commission.
Now they are introducing some of the special guests, and the Counselor Corps that they talked about are from the different countries. And I've recently met someone who is from Ireland, who is here. So you forget how diverse this city is and how many embassies there are. And so next, I believe we had the Public Service Commissioners, and then the Georgia Court of Appeals members will stand and be recognized too, as the British brass band continues to play. Yeah, and you can see that they're in an area that's glass behind them, and you can see the city of Atlanta. You can see part of the area near the Capitol. So this is really
Members
a
of the
beautiful
Georgia
view.
Court of Appeals.
Recognizing the members of the Georgia Court of Appeals.
Yeah. So next, the Georgia State House members are coming up, and then the Georgia Senate members. And it's been an exciting week at the Georgia Capitol as the General Assembly, the 157th General Assembly.
So far,
started.
spending a lot of time deciding how they will legislate,
That's
deciding
it.
the rules of the chambers.
Now, I think these are the justices right now of the Georgia Supreme Court.
Members of the Georgia House of Representatives.
Okay, House of Representatives, and then Senate. Large group, lots of them showing their support. Very bipartisan too.
Members of the Georgia Senate.
And this is the group that the Lieutenant Governor-elect will preside over, the Georgia Senate, after he is sworn in today.
And now, please welcome members of the Georgia Supreme Court.
And I believe they will mention them by name. And that includes
Justice Andrew A. Jensen.
Chief Justice Michael P. Boggs at the end.
Unlike the previous
Justice Verda M. Colvin.
people who were introduced, these Supreme Court justices are walking in. They are not already seated.
So we're watching them come in.
Justice Sean Ellen
and,
LaGrua.
and be seated in front of the stage. These are people we don't see all the time, but very important in the state.
Justice Carla Wong McMillan.
Justice Carla Wong McMillan going up to the stage because she'll be doing the swearing in of the governor.
Justice John J. Ellington. Go Dogs.
The Georgia Supreme Court shows the diversity that the rest of the state that we're seeing is
Justice
very diverse.
Charles
Supreme
J.
Court.
Bethel.
Several women.
Did we just hear the voice say, "Go Dogs"?
I think we heard that. I think we may hear that a few times.
Justice Sarah Hawkins Warren. Presiding Justice Nels S.D. Peterson.
Once again, they are being seated. They're going to their
And
seats in
Chief
front of the stage.
Justice Michael P. Boggs.
The Chief Justice has been busy this week. He swore in members of the Georgia House and Senate on Monday.
And the justices are taking their seats.
And next, we'll have the processional of the constitutional officers.
Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome Labor Commissioner-elect Bruce Thompson, his wife Rebecca Thompson, his daughter Faith, and his son Max. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome State School Superintendent Richard Woods and his wife, Lisha Woods. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome Insurance and Safety Fire Commissioner John King, his wife Carol King, and his daughter Lauren. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome Agriculture Commissioner-elect Tyler Harper, his mother, Alicia Harper, and his father, D.W. Harper. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome Attorney General Chris Carr, his wife Joan Carr, and his daughter Mary Clifton. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome Secretary of State Brad Ravensburger and his wife Tricia, his son Nick, and family. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome Speaker of the Georgia House of Representatives, John Burns, and his wife, Dale Burns. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome Lieutenant Governor-elect Burt Jones, his wife Jan Jones, his daughter Stella, and his son Banks. Ladies and gentlemen, please now welcome the Governor's Escort Committee from the Georgia House of Representatives and the State Senate. Representative Jan Jones. Representative Chuck F. Stration. Representative James Beverly. Representative James Burchett. Representative Sam Park. Senator John F. Kennedy. Senator Steve Gooch. Senator Gloria Butler. Senator Ed Harbison. Ladies and gentlemen, along with First Lady Marty Kemp and their daughters, Jarrett, Lucy, and Amy Porter, please welcome the 83rd Governor of the great state of Georgia, Brian P. Kemp. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the president of Georgia State University, Brian Blake.
Good morning, everyone. I'm so honored to be here today in support of the inauguration of Georgia's 83rd Governor, Brian P. Kemp. Let me also congratulate our newly elected Lieutenant Governor, Burt Jones, as well as all the newly elected and re-elected state officers. On behalf of Georgia State University's community, I offer congratulations to you, Governor Kemp, and your wonderful family on your re-election. Let me also recognize others and give a Georgia State welcome to our state leaders, officials, and visitors today. As I mentioned, Governor Kemp, Lieutenant Governor Jones, our constitutional officers, Speaker John Burns, members of the General Assembly, Chancellor Sonny Perdue, members of the Board of Regents, Mayor Andre Dickens, and all other distinguished guests and their families and friends. I couldn't be more honored to have you in our brand new 8,000-seat Convocation Center today. I don't think it's ever looked this good. We're so proud to open this facility in September. It feels like this type of event is just the type of event we'd love to kind of show off the facility. If you look out behind me, you may not be able to see it from your seats, but there's a beautiful view of the Capitol building, which is not bad either. So, as one of the largest and most diverse institutions in the country, Georgia State University offers elevated opportunities to our students, a large majority of which, like myself, originate from the state of Georgia, but many others from other parts of the country. Governor Kemp, the GSU family, appreciates how supportive you've been over your first term, your administration, in facilitating our strategic initiatives, our pillars, whether it's downtown or around the perimeter. Our pillar of student success has been greatly benefited by the state's support for financial resources for our students. Our pillar of innovation, beautiful new research towers, and then we've just been delighted to have to join you in our College to Careers pillar, which actually most recently we got support from the state for our dental hygiene program on our perimeter college on Dunwoody campus. So you can count on us as you move forward for many more partnerships, as all of us work even harder to support our great state as we move forward. So I had 2 minutes. Thanks again. Congratulations. And looking forward to a fabulous event. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, President Blake. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Speaker of the Georgia House of Representatives, John Burns.
Good morning. What a great day to be a Georgian as we gather here today for this important ceremony. Every 4 years, the citizens of our state exercise their right to vote and elect the constitutional officers of the state of Georgia. The right to vote has been fought for and protected by the brave men and women of our armed forces. It is fitting, then, that as we begin today, we thank them for their sacrifice they make on behalf of our country. Let me also extend congratulations to Governor Brian Kemp, Governor, Lieutenant Governor-elect Burt Jones, and all those we will inaugurate today. We look forward to working with you to continue moving this state forward. Now, I call to order and convene this joint session of the Georgia General Assembly for the purpose of inaugurating the Governor of Georgia and other officers.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the presentation of colors by the Georgia State Patrol. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Atlanta Police Department Officer Max Brewer. Officer Brewer has valiantly served in law enforcement for 2 decades. He was injured in the line of duty in the summer of 2020 while maintaining the peace in our capital city. The First family and the people of Georgia are grateful for his distinguished service. Ladies and gentlemen, Officer Max Brewer. Please also welcome singer and songwriter, hailing from Madison County, Georgia, Miss Mackenzie Carpenter.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleam, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streamed, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please remain standing as we retire the colors.
Face.
To deliver our invocation, please welcome Lucy Kemp.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, I come to you today with a grateful heart. Thank you for bringing all of us together to be able to celebrate all the hard work that my family and all the people in this room have done. I thank you for this great country we have the privilege to live in, this great state, and all those who have sacrificed so much to be able to protect us, and all those that are protecting us today. The past 4 years have brought many trials, but you have provided for us and been with us every step of the way. Galatians 6:9 tells us to not grow tired of doing good, for if we don't give up in the proper time, we will reap. That verse has meant so much to me and my family because you've been with us every step of the way, and I'm just so grateful that you've provided so much for us and reminded us to not grow weary of doing your will. I've seen your faithfulness in the works of my dad and your strength through him and his obedience to your will. I pray for the rest of these events today that they would be honoring and glorifying to you and that we remember you at the center of all of it. I pray all this in your son Jesus' name, believing. Amen.
You may be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger.
4 years ago, Governor, you entrusted me with the great seal of the state of Georgia for safekeeping.
Secretary Raffensperger, on behalf of the great people of Georgia, I entrust you with the great seal for another 4 years.
Thank you, Governor. On behalf of the people of Georgia, I accept and I'll take care of it. Thank you.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, to administer the oath of office to Governor Kemp, please welcome Justice Carla Wong McMillan. Justice Carla McMillan of the Supreme Court of Georgia will now administer the oath of office to the Governor Brian P. Kemp. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brian Kemp,
Do solemnly swear or affirm
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of Governor of the State of Georgia
the office of Governor of the State of Georgia
and will,
to
the best of my ability,
the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the State of Georgia
the Constitution of the State of Georgia
and the Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations, Governor Kemp.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated as Governor Kemp will now administer the oath of office to Lieutenant Governor-elect Burt Jones.
Well, congratulations. We're looking forward to serving with you. It's an exciting time for you and your family, and I know y'all will serve our state well. Place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Burt Jones,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of Lieutenant Governor
the office of Lieutenant Governor
of the State of Georgia
of the State of Georgia
and will,
to
to the best of my ability,
the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the State of Georgia
the Constitution of the State of Georgia
and the Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, brother.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 29, the Honorable Burt Jones, Lieutenant Governor of the state of Georgia.
All right, thank you. Good morning. It's great to be a Georgian. And I got to say it, how about those Bulldogs? I mean, come on now. I'd like to first thank Governor Kemp and First Lady Marty Kemp and their three lovely daughters, Jarrett, Lucy, and Amy Porter. The governor has been a tremendous advocate and a strong leader for our state. And Governor, I'm grateful for your continued leadership and support, and I look forward to serving the next 4 years with you too. And obviously, Marty, you just tell me what to do and I'll do it, all right? So I want to thank the Chief Justice and the Justice of the Supreme Court, Speaker Burns, members of the General Assembly, and our statewide constitutional officers. You know, today wouldn't be possible without a few people. And I first want to thank my wife, Jan, and our two kids. This Jan is not the Speaker Pro Tem of the House, so I can tell you, but I want to thank Jan. She is an amazing woman. She's my high school sweetheart. She's a wonderful, wonderful mother to our children, Stella and Banks, and I couldn't do it without them, and I love you all very dearly. So thank you all very much. To my parents, Martha and Bill, for the continued and love and support of all their children and grandchildren. Thank you both for being wonderful role models for Brian, Natalie, and myself, and setting a standard for us three to strive to emulate. And we try to do it every day, and they do a wonderful job. So to my Senate colleagues and for the voters of the state of Georgia, for your continued support and confidence, I so greatly appreciate it, more than you'll ever know. And I will continue to try to earn your trust and keep your trust in this venture as Lieutenant Governor. You know, I think about being on this stage at this moment with the opportunity to help lead this state that I love dearly and serve the people of Georgia as the next Lieutenant Governor is probably one of the highest honors I've ever known. Who would have ever thought this little boy from Jackson, Georgia could ever imagine something like this? When I went to the University of Georgia, I tried to be a student athlete, and I emphasize tried to be a student athlete. I went from a walk-on to a team captain in my 4 years, finishing up on the SEC championship team in 2002. You know, that used to mean something. But now Stetson Bennett, he's redefined what it is to be a walk-on. And I don't think anybody else is going to top what he's done. But I'm proud of him, and I'm proud of my university. But when I graduated from the University of Georgia, I wanted to go back home and help, along with my siblings, build our family business. Our family philosophy has always been very simple: bring more to the table than what you take away. With this mentality and the support of our family and my siblings, we helped grow a business that had about 200 employees just 15 years ago to a company that has over 2,000 employees now. And I'm so grateful for not just my siblings, but our employees and the communities in which they serve around this state. A lot of Georgians learn, like a lot of other Georgians, we learned that in the early times in our communities, that community involvement is a necessity. There's no substitution for hard work and working across the aisle or across the street to help those around you. And let's face it, in smaller communities like where I'm from, the challenges are very similar. Things like access to health care,
educational opportunities, transportation needs, good paying jobs are oftentimes limited. The needs of the community become more important than the needs of individuals. It's an issue for everyone living in places like Jackson, Georgia, or other rural communities around our state. And so for me, growing up, I witnessed firsthand where seeing people coming together in the community can get things done, like expanding rural broadband, building an event center, a library, a medical facility, a technical college, so many other services for our fellow citizens that might not seem like much to some, but it was a big deal in that small little community. And those small town values I learned in Jackson, Georgia, showed what can be accomplished by doing a lot with a little, putting political, social, economic differences aside to accomplish some pretty great things. So small town values are ones that I believe have the power and the potential to benefit our entire state. These values are the foundation for how I will lead and serve as your next Lieutenant Governor. And over the past 4 years, communities across our state, both large and small, have seen tremendous successes. Thanks to Governor Kemp and his leadership and the leadership and support of the General Assembly, we were the first state to reopen our economy. Through smart budgeting, strong fiscal policy, we have a record $6 billion surplus. Our unemployment rate is a record low. We've created hundreds of thousands of new jobs, and we're named the best state in the country to do business in for the 9th year in a row. We've made significant gains in our education system while giving historic pay raises to teachers. We've invested in mental health, increased broadband, funded critical infrastructure projects in our state, all while returning more money than ever to the taxpaying citizens of Georgia. Simply put, we've created a Georgia success story that rivals anything across the country. But there are also significant challenges ahead, challenges that will test our resolve as a state and as communities. Crime is on the rise, and too many of our neighbors are subjected to senseless violence. Skyrocketing inflation, largely a result of failed DC policies, is driving up costs. The challenges facing our state are real, but collectively, we are better. Collectively, we are stronger. And collectively, we have the power to work together across the aisle, across the state, and communities from the North Georgia mountains to the coast of Georgia to build on our accomplishments while addressing our most pressing issues head on. We can work together to reduce costs, make life more affordable for our families by lowering the state income tax, returning more money back to hardworking Georgians, supporting our law enforcement, and strengthening sentencing guidelines for violent and repeat offenders to improve our overall public safety. Increasing education funding will continue, and we want to continue to invest in our healthcare system, including mental health services, to create a safer, healthier, stronger Georgia. Working together, we can write the next chapter of the Georgia success story. This is our moment, and this is our time, and together, we will write the next best chapter of that story. May God bless you, and may God bless the great state of Georgia.
Ladies and gentlemen, for a special performance, please welcome Assistant Professor of Voice and Music at Morehouse College and brave singer, Mr. Timothy Miller.
Oh, beautiful for red plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful, for heroes prove the liberating strife, who more than self the country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. O beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, America, God mend thine every flaw, confirm thy soul in self-control, thy liberty in law. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Ladies and gentlemen, Governor Kemp will now administer the oath of office to each of the constitutional officers. Please welcome Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger and his family.
Governor, oh, you got it.
Congratulations, Secretary. If you'll place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Brad Raffensperger,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
I will faithfully execute
the office of Secretary of State
the office of Secretary of State
of the State of Georgia
of the State of Georgia
and will,
to
to the best of my ability,
the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the State of Georgia
the Constitution of the State of Georgia
and the Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the United States of America.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Governor.
Y'all wave to the flag.
Governor Kemp will now administer the oath of office to Attorney General Chris Carr.
You know how these lawyers are. Congratulations. You got your left hand on the Bible. If you raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Chris Carr,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of Attorney General
the office of Attorney General
of the state of Georgia
of the state of Georgia
and will,
to
to the best of my ability,
the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the state of Georgia
the Constitution of the state of Georgia
and the Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Keep on track.
Governor Kemp will now administer the oath of office to Agriculture Chairman-elect Tyler Harper.
Put your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Tyler Harper,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of Commissioner of Agriculture
the office of Commissioner of Agriculture
of the state of Georgia
of the state of Georgia
and will,
to
to the best of my ability,
the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the state of Georgia
the Constitution of the state of Georgia
and the Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Governor.
Good luck. Congratulations to y'all. I know you're proud.
Governor Kemp will now administer the oath of office to Insurance and Safety Fire Commissioner John King.
Appreciate it. General, you know, I got the opportunity to swear you in once before. Now I'm going to do it again. You're going to make history today as Georgia's first duly elected Latino Hispanic constitutional officer. Congratulations. With your left hand on the Bible and your right hand raised, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, John F. King,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of Commissioner of Insurance
the office of Commissioner of Insurance
of the state of Georgia
of the great state of Georgia
and will,
to
to the best of my ability,
the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the state of Georgia
the Constitution of the state of Georgia
and the Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Mr. Moss, appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Governor Kemp will now administer the oath of office to State School Superintendent Richard Woods.
Place your left hand on the Bible, raise your right hand, repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Richard Woods,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of State School Superintendent
the office of State School Superintendent
of the state of Georgia
of the state of Georgia
and will,
to
to the best of my ability,
the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the State of Georgia
the Constitution of the State of Georgia
and the Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thanks, sir. Appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Governor Kemp will now administer the oath of office to Labor Commissioner Bruce Thompson.
Left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Bruce Thompson,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of Commissioner of Labor
the office of Commissioner of Labor
of the State of Georgia
of the State of Georgia
and will,
to
to the best of my ability,
the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the State of Georgia
the Constitution of the State of Georgia
and the Constitution of the United States.
and the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck. Y'all wave to the crowd.
Ladies and gentlemen, please congratulate all of Georgia's constitutional officers. Ladies and gentlemen, now please welcome the 83rd Governor of the great state of Georgia, Brian P. Kemp.
Thank you all so much. Lieutenant Governor Jones, Speaker Burns, my fellow constitutional officers, members of the judiciary, my predecessors, Governor Deal, Governor Miss Perdue, Governor Mrs. Barnes, First Lady Miller, members of our congressional delegation, thank you all for joining us today. My fellow Georgians, 4 years ago, I stood before many of you and laid out a roadmap to deliver on big promises, to shake up the status quo, and to put hardworking Georgians first. Standing on that stage in 2019, swearing the oath of office on the Bible that Marty was holding with Jarrett, Lucy, and Amy Porter by our side, none of us could have imagined the immense challenges our state would face in the years to come. Together, we overcame a once-in-a-century global public health crisis. We stood with law enforcement to crack down on violent crime and keep our families and our communities safe. And we safeguarded the economic freedoms and success of Georgians, leading our state to break record after record and set an example for the rest of the nation. We could not have anticipated the historic challenges and the tremendous headwinds that the Peach State would face throughout my first term in office. But thanks to the character of our people and the determination of public servants and local heroes in every corner of our state, I believe now more than ever, Georgia's best days are ahead of us. I also know that over the last 4 years, my hair has gotten grayer. My face has more wrinkles. And as you know, my family and I have taken our fair share of arrows. But I could not be more proud of how resilient Marty, Jarrett, and Amy Porter were during those times, just like our fellow Georgians were. Marty told me I forgot Lucy. I was reading ahead. Sorry about that, Lucy. Our prayer warrior, Lucy, I apologize. But I'll say this, my heart has never been more proud to be a Georgian. And just the old construction guy from Athens has never been more optimistic about the future of our state. And just like we did 4 years ago, in 2022, our family traveled the state and promised to address Georgia's challenges. And just like we did throughout my first term as your governor, my administration intends to deliver. While some here in Georgia and across the country wanted to talk about pie-in-the-sky proposals that sound good on TV, we stayed focused on what mattered to real people, real families, and real communities across our state. The deal that we offered voters was that your state government should care a lot more about safe streets, good schools, and good paying jobs than what the pundits are saying on the cable news. Instead of catering to the talk shows or what is popular on the cocktail circuit, this administration and the leadership in the General Assembly are going to put you and your families first. Over the next 4 years, we're going to be focused on growing Georgia, not growing government. That's why we will invest state dollars by putting them back in your pockets, not using them to build new bureaucracy. We will keep our foot on the gas by bringing good paying jobs and greater opportunity to every corner of the Peach State. We will ensure that our kids have the resources they need to overcome learning loss and find success in the classroom, instead of teaching them what to think. And we will leverage state resources to support law enforcement, toughen penalties for criminals, crack down on human trafficking, and use every tool at our disposal to keep your family safe. Each and every one of the promises that we made on the campaign trail last year will make up our legislative package in 2023. And with the help of our partners in the General Assembly, we will keep our word once again. In addition to fulfilling my commitments to the voter of this state on the campaign trail, tomorrow morning my administration will release our budget recommendations for the amended 2023 and 2024 fiscal years. These proposals will build on the conservative budgeting that has been a hallmark of leadership in this state for over 20 years and continue to put Georgia on a stable path to greater prosperity, growth, and opportunity. They will also highlight how making tough decisions during tough times pays off in the long run if your leaders have the backbone to follow through. By working together over the last 4 years, this team, including some who are no longer with us, stood firm. We listened to the people of our state, not the Atlanta paper, the media, the pundits, or the so-called experts. We gave Georgians the opportunity to go back to work, to get their kids back in the classroom, and protect freedom to live their lives without fear of more government lockdowns, mandates, and overreach. And because we did that, Georgia came roaring back. Georgia has the most people ever working, the lowest unemployment rate in the history of our state. We have broken economic record after record and announced 4 of the largest job projects in the history of our state in just the last year and a half. That unprecedented success is because of the people of our state and because they were so resilient. Because hardworking Georgians had hope that the next day would be better. Families had faith that tomorrow would bring good news. My fellow Georgians, that resilience, that hope, that faith has secured a brighter future for our state, for our children, for our grandchildren, and for future generations. And for that, each and every one of you has my deepest thanks and the gratitude of all the elected leaders here with us today. Thank you all for being so resilient. The budgets my office will release tomorrow make historic investments in our schools, our safety, our citizens, and our future. These budgets cut taxes, return billions back to taxpayers, and fund our priorities. One of these many priorities is our state employees. Any business or organization is only good as its people. And I'm so proud of everything the public servants throughout our state have done and accomplished over the last few years. But the truth is, high turnover and pandemic burnout have made tough jobs even harder. From the classroom to the state patrol. If you want to keep good people and jobs critical to the safety and well-being of our children, our communities, and our state as a whole, we must be willing to be competitive with state salaries. That's why my budget recommendations will propose a $2,000 pay raise for all state employees, including state law enforcement, teachers, pre-K teachers, and certified K-12 personnel. And speaking of our schools, we know we need more teachers. We need to help our kids recover from learning loss and keep our classrooms safe. In addition to fully funding our schools once again, my budget will include over $150 million in one-time grant opportunities for local school districts to address school security, learning loss, and help some of our more than 9,000 parapros become fully certified teachers. Last year on the campaign trail, no matter where we went, hardworking Georgians told us about the pain they and their families were feeling at the pump, at the grocery store, in everyday life thanks to 40-year high inflation. I know these pains haven't gone away. I know countless moms and dads are still struggling to make ends meet and buy clothes for the next semester of school. And many Georgians are worried about making rent or paying bills. We can't fix every disastrous policy made in Washington, D.C. over the last 2 years. But because we were in your communities and heard your concerns and your challenges, my budget proposal will fulfill 2 big promises I made to the people of this great state. First, we will once again return $1 billion of your income tax in the regards of a refund to our taxpayers this year. And second, we will allocate $1.1 billion for a one-time homeowner property tax relief grant to help you with rising local property tax bills. At a time when hardworking Georgians across our state are feeling the effects of Washington, D.C.'s broken agenda in their wallet, we are putting you and your families first because that's your money, not the government's. The Georgians' first agenda I was reelected to deliver for the people of our state is about investing in hardworking Georgians and their futures. Because I believe our success over the next 5, 10, 15 years will be thanks to the resolve, the character, the ingenuity of our people, our families, our communities, our businesses, not solely the actions of the government. Our job is to make sure our kids get the best education they can. Our streets are safe from crime. Our citizens have access to good paying jobs in a state that welcomes opportunity and investment. And as the top state for business for the 9th straight year, I know we have a lot to celebrate. But as you have heard me say before, we cannot rest on our laurels because there is plenty more work to do. While my promise in 2018 to bring good paying jobs to every corner of our state was not industry specific, I believe Georgia is uniquely positioned to lead the nation in one in particular. Thanks to Governor Deal, I was able to see Georgia's first big project in the electric mobility marketplace with SK Innovation's battery plant in Commerce in 2019. Since that time, SK has more than doubled the size of its plans. Rivian and Hyundai are now building the 2 largest economic development projects in the state's history at 2 mega sites in East and Southeast Georgia. And SK On and Hyundai are partnering for yet another battery plant in Bartow County. But the good news doesn't stop there. For our batteries locating in Coweta County with a $2.5 billion investment, Archer Aviation plans to hire 1,000 Georgians to build electric vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, and we're announcing suppliers to all of these projects almost on a weekly basis. In all, the electric mobility industry will be responsible for 35 projects across Georgia to the tune of $23 billion of investment in 28,000 new jobs. I believe this is a unique moment of opportunity for our state and for the thousands upon thousands of hardworking Georgians who will benefit from great jobs and incredible, innovative companies for generations to come. That's why by the end of my 2nd term as your governor, I intend for Georgia to be recognized as the electric mobility capital of America. To accomplish this goal, we are keeping our foot on the gas, and I look forward to the announcements we'll make in the near future. 4 years ago, I made this promise to the people of our great state. Whether you voted for me or not, I was going to work hard every day to put you and your families first. And while a lot has changed, and once-in-a-lifetime events have tested all of us, my commitment to the people of this state has not wavered. We may disagree on policy or politics. We may not see eye to eye on important issues facing our state. There may be another pandemic, another contentious election, or another natural disaster. But my promise to you today remains the same that it was then. If tomorrow morning God sends us another struggle, I will roll up my sleeves and go to work. But also, I have no doubt the people of this state will endure whatever we face, and we will do it together. As Marty, Jarrett, and Lucy and I always remind ourselves. Did I leave Amy Porter out that time? Scroll that back. No, I'm just kidding. As Marty, Jarrett, Lucy, and Amy Porter and I always remind ourselves, have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Do not be frightened. Do not be afraid, because the Lord your God is with you wherever you go. One of the greatest honors of my life has been serving you and my fellow Georgians as your 83rd governor. So I say, let's get back to work. Let's keep fighting hard every day to keep our state the best place to live, work, and raise a family. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless the great state of Georgia.
Thank you, Governor Kemp. How about another big hand for the greatest governor of the greatest state, the Honorable Brian Kemp. And now, the Lieutenant Governor, the Honorable Burt Jones.
Members of the General Assembly, the House Majority Leader Chuck F. Stration from the 104th has moved that this joint session be dissolved. All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed, no. No. The ayes clearly have it. This is dissolved.
To conclude today's ceremony with the delivery of our benediction, please welcome from Mount Pleasant Baptist Church, Reverend Abraham Mosley.
For this great day in the state of Georgia, Lord, we say thank you. As we come to the close of this inauguration, we offer up our sincere effort to magnify and glorify you, O God. So as I thank you and offer up the highest praise for allowing us to witness your goodness and be beneficiary of your mercy and your grace. We pray for the anointing of this governor to guide his heart, to direct his action, to temper his wisdom with that of the Holy Spirit, so that your will shall be done. We ask for your protection for him and his family, as no weapon formed against them shall prosper. And then, Lord, from the northeast corner to the southwest corner of this great state of Georgia, may this governor find hearts and minds open to his leadership, but most of all, when that day shall come, may we stand before you and hear the words, well done, a good and faithful servant. Now unto you, O God, who is able to do all things, we pray that you continue to protect us, guide us, lead us, and to cover us with your mercy and your grace until we meet again. Let the audience say, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing in celebration of Governor Brian P. Kemp, the first family of Georgia, and the constitutional officers, and remain standing as the constitutional officers depart the platform. Ladies and gentlemen, the governor and first family will begin the review of troops outside the Convocation Center in 10 minutes. There's limited room for those who wish to observe the review of troops in person. However, we invite you to remain in your seats as the review of troops will be streamed live inside the arena. Oh, okay. I got